Hi, this is Egan. I share transformational tools and then I show you how to use them. Today's topic is how to increase your self-love. This is a very big topic. I'm not going to do it justice in this short video, but I'll share some of the key points, things that I understand about this topic. The first thing is you have to increase your self-love in whatever way you can find. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one is the influence of our culture and media. Our culture and media, one way or another, steals our sense of well-being from us. Whether it's scaring us all the time or telling us that we're not enough or trying to sell us things because we're not complete and that we need more stuff. So it's kind of insidious, but the media and the culture isn't always our friend. So you need to increase your self-love. Relationships. We all have relationships. It could be with a pet, a spouse, a partner, a family member, friends. There's all types of relationships that are out there. But no matter how many you have of them, that can never replace your own sense of self-love. It can never fill that void. We try. I've tried. I've seen many other people try. But when we put relationships on a pedestal, it, in a way, is a way to avoid ourselves. So you have to increase your self-love because other relationships can't always fill that void that we feel at times. The third reason you have to increase your self-love is because if you really want to make this world a better place, the best thing you can do is to be kind to yourself and love yourself. I often see people who are trying to do good in the world, who talk about that they have the best interests of other people in mind, and maybe they do. But when you're truly kind and loving to yourself, that's the best reflection, the best example to other people. And I think that has a very big impact. How can you increase your sense of self-love? Number one, I would say, is just having forgiveness and compassion for yourself and others to the best of your ability. When you see people being unkind or unloving, or you're unkind or unloving for some reason, there's an understanding that really you're doing the best you know how in that moment. We don't know what's always going on with other people in their minds or what's happened to them in the past, what forces have shaped them. So if you want to increase your love for yourself, be kind to yourself, forgive yourself for errors, mistakes, ignorance, and try to extend that to other people. Another tip here is there's our personality and ego and our mind and our possessions and what other people think of us. But these are all kind of passing. These are all temporary. Each of us, in fact, has a value, an eternal value, and we can think of that as our inner light, or our soul, our divine essence. You're made of light. You're made of love. Each human being, no matter what they're demonstrating or how they're acting, they're divine in that sense. They have that light, that spark of life. And we're all made of love. And if you can bring your attention back to that awareness that you're made of love, that's being loving to yourself and helping other people as well. The third suggestion to increase your self-love is, oddly enough, to be aware when you're not loving to yourself. What do I mean by that? Years ago, I read a wonderful book by a woman named Marcia Nelson. It was called Going Home, I believe. Beautiful book. I think I read it like 25 years ago, something like that. In one of the chapters, she talks about a technique to love yourself. And so basically she said, well, as you're going through your day, from time to time as you're doing an activity, ask yourself, is this loving to myself? Am I being kind to myself as I'm doing this? Am I being kind to myself and loving to myself by doing this? Being in this place, being with this person, thinking this thought. So it's kind of like a meditative mindfulness technique. So I began practicing, and I thought it was kind of interesting, and I was, sort of practicing and playing around with it. And I think it was like a couple of weeks later, I was on a date. I was dating a woman at the time, and we found ourselves at her place in her bedroom, and we were having an intimate moment. So we're making love, and at one point I hear this little voice in my mind go, am I loving myself by doing this? Am I being kind to myself? Now you would think that the answer would be, of course, I'm being intimate with somebody. What's the matter with that? But in that moment, I became conscious and realized that although she was a very nice person, I wasn't really enjoying myself. Like I didn't feel comfortable. It wasn't the right person for me. And so that was a big eye-opener. And so sometimes if you just have a little small technique, a little question you can ask yourself, it wakes you up from the illusion of reality and makes you more conscious. And that's really where transformation occurs, is being more conscious. So, 3 simple tips. Forgive yourself and others. Acknowledge your eternal light within yourself. And be aware of when you're doing things that are loving to yourself and when they're not. Let's now go into a process to increase your self-love. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and breathe and relax. And I want you to imagine that you're on the beach. You're on the beach, walking alongside the beach, and there's a beautiful ocean, crystal clear water, very inviting, very sparkling. It's a beautiful sunny day, quiet, calm, serene, pleasant. The kind of day where it's not too hot, not too cold, the temperature is just right, and it feels delightful. And as you're looking at this ocean, it's so inviting that you decide to go inside the ocean. And so you begin to walk towards it. First, your toes encounter the edge of the water, then your feet and ankles. You keep moving forward until your knees are in the water, your waist. And then finally, you're immersed in the beautiful, crystal clear waters. And now imagine that the water transforms into love. Total, unconditional love. You are immersed, saturated, surrounded, enveloped by love. How would that feel if you were immersed in an ocean of love? You were loved and accepted no matter what. A sense of allowing you to be who you are. There's no sense of judgment, no imperfections, no requirements, no expectations. You're just allowed, pure allowance to be. Imagine now that you double this feeling of love, as if it doubled in its intensity. How does that feel to double that presence of love? And then finally, I want you to go to infinite. What would be infinite love? If everyone and everything everywhere in the universe loved you, love was all there was. It didn't matter what you had done in the past. It didn't matter anything. There was no thing, no quality, no aspect of your being that was denied love, an infinite love. And just feeling that infinite love. Imagine this love goes back in time, as if you're literally sending love back to every previous moment in time. A minute ago, an hour ago, a day ago, all the way back to your birth. And that every moment from this moment to your birth was always surrounded in love. Total support. No matter what happened, there was a loving presence that always loved and accepted you. That was always eager to be kind to you. That was always embracing you. Know that you are this loving presence, and when you're aware of it, you can embody it and express it even more. And that you are a gift. You are a perfect expression of whatever you're exploring, and you're always, always loved. Coming back to the room, opening your eyes, and I thank you for watching this video, and I encourage you to always be kind and loving to yourself, and I'll see you on the next video.